Hello friends, today we are going to study about reflection. But before that we will revise what we studied in last lecture. In last lecture we have seen sign convention, and according to the sign convention we know that if we have a lens that can be a mirror or a lens, then according to the convention we have studied that if suppose we have a mirror or a lens at this point, this x-axis will be called it as principal axis. This x-axis will be called it as principal axis. Cartesian sign convention states that we have to treat this x-axis as principal axis. This can be center of a mirror or center of a lens, which can be called it as pole. Okay, then if this point is pole, then the thing is object is always placed on left hand side. Object is always placed on left hand side. The thing is, by this what can we say? The light coming from this object will be from left to right. From left to right. Therefore, distance taken in the direction of light will be taken as positive. Distance taken against the direction of light will be taken as negative. Therefore, if we take a distance on the right hand side, it will be positive. If we take a distance on left hand side, it will be negative. It will be negative. If we take distance above the principal axis, that can be left hand side or right hand side, it will be taken as positive. If we take a distance below the principal axis, that will be taken as negative or on this side. And it is very simple. We have to understand that the distance taken against the direction of light, which will be on left hand side, which will be the object distance, or in some cases it can be image distance, that this distance will be always negative. Left hand side, left, negative, right, positive. Right, positive. Then up, positive, above the principal axis, below, down will be negative. On both the sides. This will be negative as well as this will be negative. This is the Cartesian sign convention which we have studied in last lecture. Okay, this is very important for numericals and calculation. Now you understood this thing. Object is always placed on left hand side. X-axis is treated as principal axis. The center point is called it as pole. Then over here, the direction of light is from left to right hand side. The distance taken in the direction of light will be always taken as positive, and the distance taken against this one is taken as negative. Then the distance taken on left hand side will be negative, distance taken on right hand side will be positive, distance taken above the principal axis will be treated as positive, distance taken below the principal axis will be negative. Okay? Now, in this lecture, we will start reflection. Okay? We studied reflection in starting lectures also. In that we see what is law of reflection, etc., etc. But now in this lecture we have to see the image formation by a plane mirror. Okay. What is the image formation by a plane mirror? रोज सुबह हम मॉर्निंग में मिरर्स यूज करते हैं, ठीक है, आफ्टरनून में भी यूज करते हैं, दैट इज नॉट द केस, बट जनरली हम जब भी मिरर यूज करते हैं तो व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन वी गो इन फ्रंट ऑफ अ मिरर? What is your observation when you go in front of a plane mirror? The observation is your image is virtual, erect. Virtual means you cannot represent that image on the screen. Second thing, it is erect. Erect means वो आपको straight दिखाई देगी. अगर आप straight खड़े हो तो वो भी straight होगा, inverted image नहीं बनेगा. मतलब अगर आप straight हो तो आपका image भी straighter होगा like this. ऐसा inverted image नहीं form होगा, it will be straight line. Virtual and erect. Second thing is there will be lateral inversion. What is this lateral inversion? Your right hand appears to be left one inside the mirror and left hand appears to be right one. You can do this activity at your home. तुम्ही घरी करू शकता. तुम्ही मिररच्या समोर गेल्यानंतर आपल्याला काय वाटतं, राईट साइड आपल्याला लेफ्ट वाटते आणि लेफ्ट आपल्याला राईट वाटते. That is basically called it as lateral inversion. When we come on right hand side, it appears to be that inside the mirror we are doing the common left hand side. This is basically called it as lateral inversion. The size of object is equal to size of image. Size मध्ये काही फरक येत नाही. The distance of object is equal to distance of the image. जितने दूर आप मिरर से दूर खड़े उतने ही अंदर आपको वो मिरर में दिखाई देगा. That will be called it as the distance of object will be equal to distance of image. These are basic characteristics of the image formed by plane mirror. Second thing, I will show this picture in the PPT. Second thing is image formed by a water or lake. ओके, अगर आप लेक में देखते हो, ठीक है, तो क्या होता है, at the same time same thing happens. There is also lateral inversion takes place. Your right thing appears to be left one, left thing appears to be right one. There also there is lateral inversion. Okay, for that we will see the PPT now. Okay, now see over here, reflection from a plane surface. If the object is in front of a plane reflecting surface, the image is virtual and laterally inverted. What is this laterally inverted? Means right hand side appear to be left one, left hand side appear to be right one. Virtual means you cannot represent that screen on the you cannot represent that image on the screen. It is of the same size as that of the object and at the same distance as that of the object on the other side of the reflecting surface. जब हम मिरर में देखते हैं तो यहाँ पे पर्सन है तो वो अंदर की तरफ सेम डिस्टेंस पे आपको दिखाई देता है. Okay, that is the case. Now see this picture. See this. This boy is showing its left thumb. It is showing its left thumb, but when you see on the mirror, you can see its right hand. Therefore, this will be basically called it as lateral inversion. The right thing appears to be left one and left thing appears to be right one. And distance of the object is equal to distance of the image. जितना आप मिरर से दूर खड़े होंगे उतना ही दूर आपको इमेज मिरर के अंदर दिखाई देगा. That makes a sense that distance of object is equal to distance of the image. If we are standing on the bank of a still water body and look for our image formed by water, the image is laterally reversed of the same size on the other side. Now see over here. If this boy is raising its right hand, inside the image we can see its left hand. Okay, then this lateral inversion is also taken place inside the water. Or if suppose instead of water we have a plain mirror on the floor and if we are standing on it, the nature of image will be the same. Lateral inversion will take place. Right hand side will appear to be left one and left hand side will appear to be right one. If we are standing on the plain mirror which is on the floor, or if we see the still water, the nature will remain same. Lateral inversion will take place or laterally reversed. Now, if an object is kept between two plane mirrors inclined an angle Q, a number of images are formed due to multiple reflections from both the mirrors. Exact number of images depends upon the angle between the mirrors and where exactly the object is kept. The thing is, if we have suppose two mirrors, they are attached like this, means they are making certain angle with each other, means they are inclined to each other. This is a plane mirror, this one is also a plane mirror. They are making certain angle. Okay. Now in this case, what happens? Initially we have seen the image formation by a single mirror. Now we have two mirrors. And if we place the object at the center, the image will be, there will be multiple images. There will be multiple images. Then there is a formula to find how many images will form when we have two mirrors inclined with certain angle. You can see in the picture, you can able to see three images. Okay, we have a candle and its image will be there on right hand side as well as on left hand side as well as inside also. We can see nearby three images of that single candle. This multiple images takes place. जब दो इंक्लाइन मिरर्स में हम किसी ऑब्जेक्ट को रखते हैं तो हमें मल्टीपल इमेजेस मिलते हैं और ये मल्टीपल इमेजेस निकालने के लिए एक फॉर्मूला है दैट वी हैव टू सी नाउ. इज इट ओके? इसका एक और एग्जांपल है, जब आप बार्बर शॉप में जाते हैं तब उस टाइम पे जब आप फ्रंट मिरर में देखते हैं तो बैक मिरर में आपको बैक साइड दिखाई देता है आपका, और उसके अंदर फिर से फ्रंट मिरर दिखता है, उसके अंदर बैक मिरर दिखता है. यू कैन एबल टू सी अ मल्टीपल इमेजेस. दैट इज द सेम केस. Okay, but in that case the two mirrors are parallel. Over here there is certain angle between two plane mirrors. Now see one more image. If we have this one, we change the angle now. When we change the angle, number of image also changes. See this, suppose we have this object, its image on this mirror is over here and the image of this one on left hand side. And if we see, this object will make an image on this object over here and this will make an image at this point. Okay, then multiple images are forming inside the mirror because we have this inclined mirrors which are making certain angle. As angle changes, the image also changes. Okay, the thing is, we will see first of all what is the formula. Okay, now see over here, the formula is n is equal to 360 upon theta, where theta is the angle between two plane mirrors. If theta is angle between two mirrors, let capital N be the number of images seen. Number of images seen. Then what are the rule? First of all, whichever will be the angle theta, you have to divide that by 360. Suppose we will take one example. The angle between two mirrors is 90 degree. The angle between two plane mirrors is 90 degree. Then if the angle between two plane mirrors is 90 degree, then if we place an object in between these two plane mirrors, we can place this object in two different ways. One at the angle bisector and one at any other place except that angle bisector. Okay, that will be called it as symmetry. See this, if we draw one line perpendicular to this, okay, which will be the angle bisector, or see over here, if we draw a angle bisector between these two mirrors like this and we place an object at the center, that position will be called it as symmetric. Okay, and if we change the position of this object from this center to any other position over here or on this side, this will be called it as asymmetric position. Then there are two ways to place an object in front of two inclined plane mirrors. One is at symmetry. Symmetry means we have to place that object at the angle bisector. मतलब ये angle है, इस अगर 90 डिग्री है तो उसका angle bisector होगा 45 डिग्री. तो 45 डिग्री पे अगर आप ऑब्जेक्ट को प्लेस करेंगे तो that will be symmetric position. But if suppose you place that object except 45 degree anywhere, then that will be called it as asymmetric. Okay, now you know what is symmetric. If we place an object at angle bisector, that will be called it as symmetric position. and if you place an object anywhere except that angle bisector, that will be called it as asymmetric. Okay, now it will be easier for you to understand. Now see the formula, n is equal to 360 upon theta. Okay, if theta is 90 degree, if we take an example of 90 degree, then what will happen? 360 divided by 90 is 4. But now answer comes to be an even number. If answer comes to be even number, you have to subtract 1 from it. Listen carefully. Okay? See the first rule, that is, if n is an even integer, if it comes to be an even integer, see the example, if we have taken theta as 90 degree, then what happening over there? The answer coming is 4 and 4 is an even number. Then if the number comes, if small n comes to be even, we have to subtract 1 from it. अगर आंसर इवन नंबर आएगा, 2 से डिविजिबल वाला नंबर आएगा, तो उसमें से 1 सब्ट्रैक्ट करना है, irrespective of where the object is. अब इसमें हमें देखना नहीं है ऑब्जेक्ट कहाँ पे है. That can be at the symmetric position, it cannot be at the symmetric position, means asymmetric. मीन्स वो एंगल बाइसेक्टर पे है या नहीं है, उस पर हमें कोई भी कंसर्न नहीं करना है. हमें सिर्फ ये देखना है कि अगर स्मॉल है, डिवीजन के बाद आंसर इवन नंबर आ रहा है, तो उसमें से 1 माइनस करना है. These are the rules by which we can find how many images can be formed in two interlined plane mirrors. Then next point, if n is an odd integer and the object is exactly on the angle bisector. Now in the first case we have seen, if answer comes to be even, okay, we are not concerned with the position of the object at that point of time, we have to only subtract 1 from it. But if in the second case answer comes to be odd, then at that point of time, if an odd integer object is exactly on the angle bisector, means it is at the symmetric position. अगर इवन आता है तो हमें देखने की जरूरत नहीं है कि वो सिमेट्रिक है कि असिमेट्रिक है, मतलब एंगल बाइसेक्टर पे है या नहीं है. बट जब ऑड आंसर आएगा तब हमको चेक करना है कि ऑब्जेक्ट एंगल बाइसेक्टर पे है या नहीं है. If the object is at angle bisector, then we have to subtract 1 from it. अगर वो एंगल बाइसेक्टर पे होगा तो हमें 1 सब्ट्रैक्ट करना पड़ेगा. And if n is an angle odd integer and object is off the angle bisector, then capital N is equal to small. और वो एंगल बाइसेक्टर पे नहीं है, ऑड आंसर आ रहा है, जो आपने एंगल बनाया उससे डिवाइड किया 360 से, और आंसर कम्स टू बी ऑड 1. Then and the object is not on the symmetric, means angle bisector, तो उस टाइम पे हमें जो आंसर आएगा वही नंबर ऑफ इमेजेस होंगे. We will see the example of it. Okay, now if n is not an integer, if n is not an integer, capital N is equal to m, where m is the integral part of it. अब अगर आपने इमेज फॉर्म आंसर निकाला और आंसर डेसिमल्स में आए, सपोज 4.6, 4.5, 4.4 आया, तो हमको क्या कंसिडर करना पड़ेगा? इट्स इंटीग्रल पार्ट, मतलब 4 लेंगे. अगर आंसर डेसिमल्स में आता है तो हम उसका इंटीग्रल पार्ट लेंगे. ठीक है, डेसिमल के लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में जो नंबर होगा तो वो हम कंसिडर करेंगे. नाउ वी नो द रूल्स. ओके, नाउ वी विल अप्लाई दिस रूल ऑन the problems. See this table, see the first one. If the angle between two plane mirrors is 120 degree, okay, then we divide theta is equal to 120, 360 divided by 120, answer comes to be 3. Answer is odd, and I told you that if answer comes to be odd, then what we have to see? If answer is odd, then we have to see that object is on symmetry or not, or it is on the angle bisector or not. Then if it is on angle bisector, we have to subtract 1 from it. The answer will be 2, means 2 images will be formed. And if answer, this is 3 and this is not on the angle bisector, मतलब ये सेंटर की लाइन पे नहीं है, इस साइड कहीं पे भी है, तो उसमें से 1 सब्ट्रैक्ट नहीं करना है, तो नंबर ऑफ इमेजेस विल कम्स टू बी 3. If we see the next example, if the angle between two mirrors is 110 degrees, then what will happen? 360 divided by 110, answer comes to be 3.27 something, 2727. We will take it as approx 3.28. Then, now what we have to do? Since the answer is in decimals, then we have to take its integral part. And what is the integral part? That is 3. 3 is the integral part. Therefore, the image will be 3. Since the answer comes in decimal, we don't have to see the object is on angle bisector or not. अगर डेसिमल में आएगा तो फिर आपको नहीं देखना है कि ऑब्जेक्ट एंगल बाइसेक्टर पे है या नहीं है, तो आंसर डायरेक्टली 3 होगा. Now, if we see 90 degree, we have seen this example, if the angle between two plane mirrors is 90 degree, then what will happen? In that case, answer comes to be 4, and 4 is an even. And if it is an even number, then we have to subtract 1 from it, and that will be 3. Anyway, जब आंसर इवन आएगा तब कहीं पे भी हो आपको 1 सब्ट्रैक्ट ही करना है. फिर आपको नहीं देखना है कि ऑब्जेक्ट एंगल बाइसेक्टर पे है या नहीं है. सी इफ वी हैव 80, द एंगल बिटवीन टू प्लेन मिरर्स इज 80. अगर दो प्लेन मिरर्स के बीच का एंगल 80 है तो आप 360 डिवाइडेड बाय 80 करेंगे, आंसर कम्स टू बी 4.5. फिर अभी डेसिमल में आया है तो हमको नहीं देखना है कि ऑब्जेक्ट एंगल बाइसेक्टर पे है या नहीं है. फिर हम क्या करेंगे? वी विल टेक इट्स इंटीग्रल पार्ट व्हिच इज 4. द आंसर कम्स टू बी 4. 72 डिग्रीज है तो क्या होगा? 360 डिवाइडेड बाय 72, आंसर कम्स टू बी 5. अब 5 आंसर आने के बाद ऑड आ गया, तो ऑड आने के बाद हमको चेक करना पड़ेगा ऑब्जेक्ट एंगल बाइसेक्टर पे है या नहीं है. एंगल बाइसेक्टर ऑफ दीस टू प्लेन मिरर्स. तो अगर वो है तो 1 माइनस करेंगे, आंसर कम्स टू बी 4. और वो ऑफ एंगल बाइसेक्टर है, मतलब एंगल बाइसेक्टर पे नहीं है, then it will be remain as it is, that will comes to be 5. If the angle between two mirrors is 60 degree, then what will happen? Answer comes to be 6. 6 is an even number, then you don't have to see the object is on angle bisector or not. Then it will be 6 minus 1, that will be 5. If your angle between two plane mirrors is 50 degree, okay, then what will happen? 360 divided by 50, answer comes to be 7.2. And if answer comes to be 7.2, it is in decimal form, then we have to take its integral part, that is 7. और जब भी डेसिमल में आएगा तो हमें नहीं देखना है कि ऑब्जेक्ट कहाँ एंगल बाइसेक्टर पे है या नहीं है. Is it okay? Now you understood what is the way. Okay, if answer comes to be even, we don't have to see the position of object, it is on the angle bisector or not. We have to directly subtract it. If answer comes in decimal, at that point also we have to take its integral point. We don't have to see at that point of time what is the positioning object. But if the answer is odd, then what we have to see? We have to see the object is on the angle bisector or off the angle bisector. And if it is on the angle bisector, we will subtract 1. Okay, correct. Okay, now we have seen this thing. And suppose if two mirrors are parallel to each other. If two mirrors are parallel to each other, what will be the angle between them? That will be 0. And if we divide 360 by 0, what will be the answer? Near about infinity. Then whenever we have two plane mirrors, and if we place an object in between them, then infinite images will form inside that two plane mirrors. Are you getting this thing? 360 divided by a very small quantity, very, very small. Then answer will be goes on increasing. Basically, if we take 0, the answer comes to be not defined. But if suppose we take 0.0000001, then if denominator is very, very small, then at that point of time n comes to be near to infinity. Therefore, if we have two plane mirrors and if we have object in between them, then infinite images will form on that two parallel plane mirrors. Okay, now we will see refraction. If we see refraction, in last lecture we have seen what is whenever light moves from one transparent medium to another transparent medium, this phenomenon is called it as refraction. If a ray of light comes to an interface between two media and enters into another media of different refractive index, it changes itself suitable to that medium. This phenomenon is defined as refraction of light. अगर एक ट्रांसपेरेंट मीडियम से लाइट दूसरे ट्रांसपेरेंट मीडियम में जाता है वो रिफ्रैक्ट होता है, ठीक है. साइंटिफिकल वर्ड में दैट विल बी डेविएटेड इन अनदर मीडियम एंड दैट फेनोमेनन इज कॉल्ड इट एज रिफ्रैक्शन. If we see law of refraction, refracted ray lies in the plane formed by the incident ray and normal drawn at the point of incidence, and the two rays are on the either side of the normal. अगर इंसिडेंट रे और रिफ्रैक्टेड रे हम देखें तो वो नॉर्मल के अपोजिट साइड्स में होते हैं और सेम प्लेन में होते हैं. सेकेंड थिंग, एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस that is theta 1 and angle of refraction that is theta 2 are related by Snell's law. तो ये जो दोनों एंगल है, एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस एंड एंगल ऑफ रिफ्रैक्शन, वो स्नेल्स लॉ से रिलेटेड है. एंड दैट फार्मूला इज n1 sin theta 1 is equal to n2 sin theta 2, and this is called it as Snell's law, where n1 is the refractive index of medium 1 and n2 is the refractive index of medium 2. See this. This is the incident ray. Okay, then it get deviated in another medium. This one will be medium 1, this will be medium 2. The ray is incident at that point O, and then it transmitted in the another medium. This is angle of incidence, that is theta 1. This one is second angle, which is theta 2. Okay, absolute refractive index. Okay, when we see this absolute refractive index, the refractive index of any medium with respect to air is basically called it as absolute refractive index. Absolute refractive index of a medium is defined as the ratio of speed of light in vacuum to that in the given medium. अगर हम किसी का भी refractive index air के comparison में find करें तो that is basically called it as absolute refractive index. And in terms of velocity, if it's CA, it is C is velocity of light in vacuum and V is velocity of light in that medium. Then N will be called it as the absolute refractive index. Refractive index of any medium with respect to air is basically called it as absolute refractive index. Okay, whenever we find the refractive index of any medium with respect to air or vacuum, it will be called it as absolute refractive index, and its formula will be N is equal to C upon V, where C is called speed of light in vacuum or air, which is exactly 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second or 3 lakh kilometers per second, and V is the velocity of light in that medium. That can be okay anything. Then what will be the unit of refractive index? Since both the physical quantities are same, therefore what can we say? Refractive index is unit-less quantity. Refractive index is unit-less quantity. Okay, then remaining part we will see in next lecture. And if you have any doubt regarding this lecture, you can ask on WhatsApp groups. Okay, if you have any doubt regarding this lectures or doubts, you can ask on WhatsApp or in next online lecture. Okay, thank you all of you.